What's up, dudes? I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be having a little bit of a celebration of 5k subscribers. I'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. We are going to be eating some crisps. So for all you guys that have been saying, please eat some crisps, that's what I'll be doing today. I have some Doritos Extra Flaming Hot. And also I have a list of pet peeves that I was going to do a separate video about, but I think that it will be better just to do it in this one so I can get everything into sort of a big celebration. It is a list of stuff that annoys me, not just to do with music, to do with just life in general. So it's going to be funny to go through some of that stuff. So yeah, I'll quickly talk about 5k. I mean, it's a milestone that I didn't really think about reaching. Yeah, I had a sudden influx of people come in. I think that's because I was covering more relevant topics. You know, I'd done quite a few download videos. I'd done one about albums coming out this year, and obviously people are always excited to see what albums are going to come out and stuff. So I think that led to the influx of people, which has been fantastic. Obviously, I think at the beginning of the year I was at 2,800, and obviously now we're over 5k, you know, nearly 5.1k, which is absolutely crazy. You know, I will just say that I do appreciate everyone that's come on board recently, and it's really just great to have you here. And for all the people that have stuck around all this time, it is greatly appreciated. I don't have to tell you guys, because luckily, unlike a lot of YouTubers that do specific types of content, with this type of content, because I do a lot of festival-based stuff, I actually get to meet you guys, where, you know, other YouTubers and people that do gaming and all other sorts, you know, they would have to do like specific signings or set up somewhere to meet their fans, whereas obviously I go to all the festivals and end up bumping into half of you guys. So yeah, you guys know how much I appreciate it, because I get to meet you in real life and actually tell you. So yeah, that makes all the difference with the sort of stuff that I'm doing. So but yeah, it's just been great. It's been an amazing couple of months. You know, obviously adjusting to being a dad has been a massive change in my life as well. So it's been nice that, because that's been quite hard. Well, harder on Vicky than me, but still hard. Work's been proper rubbish at the moment as well. I'm really not enjoying it. So it's just great to have this, and obviously the band is just starting to sort of get the gears turning now, playing metal to the masses, which is just awesome. So yeah, everything feels like 2025 really feels like it's just starting to come to fruition, and hopefully once we hit festival season, all things will be great. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking actually the other day that, you know, I'm not saying I was really struggling with my mental health, but work was really bringing me down. And, you know, I'm myself on this channel. I'm a very positive person, and you know, you guys that have met me, I'm exactly the same doing this video as you will meet me in real life, unless I'm completely drunk. But still, you know, I am myself on here. I don't play up to anything or try and act enthusiastic about things when I'm not enthusiastic about them. I am just myself. So work has been bringing me down to something I don't become very often, which is a little bit depressed. And, you know, just a bit down about things. So it got me thinking about mental health, and obviously all the people that watch the channel and that. So I did just want to say, you know, if anyone really wants any help or assistance, or anyone wants to reach out, or if anyone's struggling or anything, you know, this is the place really to put it. I can only give so much advice because I've only got so much knowledge, but that's why I know a lot of you obviously know that I do the Dear Download podcast, and the community we have on that Discord as well is probably really great for helping people that do have obviously some mental health issues, because at some point through the stage of your life you go through them. You know, sometimes you don't even realize you're actually going through them, but you are. And you know, other people have a lot harder time dealing with stuff. So yeah, I'm just saying, I hope everyone out there is okay. And you know, I can help people as much as they possibly can. So, you know, if you ever do want to reach out to me or message me or whatever, you know, I'm totally up for just talking to some people. Or another great option is if you join the Dear Download Discord, which I will put in the description. There's a whole community of people on there. We even have like a mental health section that people can sort of vent on and put their stuff on, and yeah, it's really great. So anyway, that just got me thinking, because that's not something I normally think about, because it's not personally something that I deal with a lot. Yeah, just the type of person I am. I'm always trying to sort of stay up here, but you know, life sometimes just brings you absolutely crashing down. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to more positive things. So let's try some crisps, shall we? And I will get up my pet peeves list. I was sitting there with Vicky, and one of the things on here we will get to is how much adverts annoy me. And I was thinking, have I become that person now where I've, you know, I'm obviously not old, but, you know, I'm getting on a little bit. You know, an 18-year-old would look at me and think, my God, this guy's ancient. And I thought, I do get annoyed about a lot more stuff than I used to. Not annoyed, just like stuff that I'm just like, oh my God, that typical Family Guy, this really grinds my gears kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to discuss some of these with you guys and see if they annoy you as well. This isn't like a definitive list. It's just the things in the last month that have sort of come to mind, and I thought, oh, I better write that down because that really annoys me. So we'll see if you guys agree with some of them. Extra flaming hot flavor corn chips. I wish they were corn chips. Yeah, I saw these in the shop. I thought, oh baby, okay, I'll try some of those. I do like Doritos, and I like spicy stuff. So, oh, actually, let's get you guys a nice little look in the bag there. I mean, they just look like Doritos, but they definitely don't smell like normal Doritos. I like the spicy Doritos, the normal ones. They're really good, but these ones definitely look like they have. Let's try and get some focus on that. Oh baby! Oh no, the focus ain't gonna go back now. I'm using a come on, go back. There we go. It takes a while. I'm using that Logitech C920, whatever the hell it is. So it's a pretty decent, but the zoom, the focus function rather is quite slow. So that's why I have to have minimal lighting on in here, because this camera really doesn't like it. I've tried filming some videos on my phone. If you remember the download festival ranking all my downloads, I've done that on my phone. It did come out quite well. It's just a little bit harder to sort of get through and process. And for some reason, my phone films the videos so bright, the amount of correction I have to do on them is absolutely insane. And hopefully it will be minimal on this. So let's try one of these bad boys. I wonder if they're actually going to be spicy or they're just going to taste like spice. I mean, they've got fire on them, but that's never an indication if a crisp is actually going to be hot. Okay, all right. That actually has a little bit of kick to it, which I'm actually quite excited about. Okay, well, if you're thinking to yourself, who is this crazy man chatting breeze, eating crisps? This is what, excuse me, I have done, you know, kind of like a mukbang thing. I know I probably won't eat the whole bag, but for some reason, one day I just decided to eat a bag of crisps and talk to you guys, and people actually really liked it. Some people really don't like people eating while talking. I understand if you turn off, that's fine. I will try not to talk with my mouth full too much, and crisps aren't the worst thing that you can watch someone eat. So hopefully, oh, this is going to dye my fingers, isn't it? So hopefully you actually dig it. But yes, we will talk about things while we do it. So my first pet peeve of mine, that's the wrong code. My first one is bands re-recording old albums. Now, this is just the experience from bands that I like. I'm trying to think of some. I think Paradise Lost re-recorded Icon recently. It's not bad, but it's just not as good. I probably should have thought of more examples, but every time a band records an album, they normally record, it's like a seminal album. They don't go back and what bands should be doing is re-recording the ones that were rubbish and making them better, which bands rarely do. What bands do is they come to like a 25th or 30th anniversary and they go, oh, we're going to re-record this album. But why? It was obviously so amazing in the first place, which is why people, you know, remember it and love it, and which is why it's reached this 25 or 30 anniversary year status. So for me, it's always why don't you record the work? Like, Metallica go back into the studio and re-record St. Anger, change the guitar tones, keep the songs the same. You know, just do something. If you were to do that to make a rubbish album good, sounds better to me than making a great album and then re-recording it and making it mediocre because the original album was so good because it was like lightning in a bottle. I'm sure a lot of you agree with me with that, but I have seen a lot of people hating a lot of re-recordings. And for me, I've just never been a fan. And every time I see a band do it, I'm like, oh, so you're wasting all this time re-recording an album of songs that we've heard before when you could be re-recording, you could be recording some new material that we could listen to. So that is just a big pet peeve of mine, and I don't think they ever come off as good. Remasters is different. Because remastering is like, you know, beefing up the drums. If the album hasn't got a lot of low end, you can sort of beef that bit up. So I like the remastering of albums. Sometimes it can ruin them. It depends. If an album's perfect, it shouldn't be touched. I guess everyone has a different outlook on what a perfect album is. Okay, this one's for all my football fans out there. Or if you're across the pond, soccer. Why do companies that make just football shirts in general, why do they make the shape, I can't even talk. Why do they make the shirts for the players the same as the ones for the fans? Everyone that wears a football shirt outside of being a professional footballer does not have 3 or 4% body fat. You know, I am quite a slender person, and even I struggle to fit into some of these football shirts, and they always make you look terrible because of the type of fabric. They always hang on you. They point out every single little bit of body fat that you've got. And obviously, if you're a larger person, you must feel even worse in a really tight, horribly fabricked football shirt. They just always look awful. I don't understand why. Then I remember the older style of football shirts, and we're talking 90s. Now, because the actual shirts on the players themselves were a bit baggier because it was the style, they always fit better on you. So I can't decide why you just say, right, we'll make these shirts for the players, and then all the other ones we'll get in an average Joe guy and an average Joe girl, right? And we'll say, put football shirts on them, put some types of fabrics on them, and say, this one hangs the best, this one looks the best, this one's more stretchy, for instance. It won't be tight and sit on every single ounce of body fat that they've got on them. And I just think that people would buy and wear football shirts more often. Again, to some people that would be like, well, I really don't care. But that is just one of the things that annoys me. And I've got a whole collection of Aston Villa shirts. I love them all, but I rarely wear them. And I rarely wear them, especially if I've put on a couple of pounds, because you can see every single one of those pounds on those football shirts. So all you guys that are into football and you buy football shirts, I'm sure you will understand that. Okay, these are all first world problems, yeah? I'm not solving any crises with these pet peeves, unfortunately. These are all first world problems. Okay, you're gonna love this one. So, I'm sure, obviously, almost everyone here has been to HMV. Now, record stores have obviously changed a lot over the years. You know, I remember going back in the late 90s, early 2000s when, you know, you had 4-story Virgin megastores and, you know, there were CDs and DVDs and God knows what, you know, everything. Now, obviously, media has changed since then. I understand that physical media is not as in demand as it was. That's fair. I get stuff online. I download stuff online. I pay for online services. So I'm right there with you. I am not against having technology. The only problem with this is stores like HMV that have obviously decided to continue with selling physical media and other stuff have dwindled very much so. So their business models have changed. Now, even up to a year ago, you walk into a HMV, and even though it wasn't as big and glamorous, it had changed. It still had a little bit of the vibe, but you know, the CD sections were smaller, the DVD sections, the Blu-ray sections. I've got to have a drink. They aren't spicy, I've just got a bit of a dry mouth. Now, I'm sure a lot of this has been going on across the country, and I'm sure it's happened in your town or city. They have started to redo these HMVs and reconfigure them to the new setup. So Cheltenham is one of the towns that's closest to me. I do live in Gloucester, but I always go to Cheltenham for shopping. I walked into the new HMV and oh my God, now they don't sell any DVDs at all. There was not one DVD or Blu-ray in this entire HMV. Let's see if I can put some pictures in. I must have to take some pictures or get some pictures. 3/4 of the store were pop vinyls, comics, you know, cups, plate, just basically a load of tat. The entire store is a complete load of tat. All stuff you could buy online, probably get cheaper as well. It's just such an old man moan, but it's like, I'm sure some of you guys that love physical media have noticed. It made me really sad when I walked in there. It made me super sad. The only thing that I will give them props for is they have leaned into vinyl a lot. Now, I don't really buy new vinyl. It's too expensive. I think it's absolutely sickening how overpriced vinyl is because it's got popular. Being someone who's collected vinyl for a long time, I remember the glory days of being able to get vinyl for absolutely nothing. Unfortunately now, vinyl is very expensive. It's good, you know, the new quality is good. And I do own some new vinyls, mostly secondhand old vinyls, if I'm honest. I'll have to go through my vinyl collection one day, actually. That'll be an interesting one for people who haven't seen it. But that was nice, because I walked in, there was a giant vinyl section, there was loads of people there, going through all the vinyls. I thought, that's fantastic, man. This just reminded me, give me old school vibes. But the rest of the store, absolute tat, trash, rubbish. I hated every second of being in there. And unfortunately, I will not be spending much time in the future in any HMV. So yeah, that was a really, it was just a little stabby in my heart. My heart sunk a little bit when I walked in there. This one, I won't go into this one too much. We've all got pets and animals, and I know that, you know, we've got 2 cats, and they're not the cleanest of cats sometimes. You know, they do their business everywhere, and we have to clean it up, and we got a long hair, and she gets it on animals and stuff. Now, let's get on to dogs, okay? Now, I'm not necessarily a dog person. I'm an animal person overall. I love all animals. I absolutely love animals to bits. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's scary looking, spiders, love all that, snakes, anything. I think animals are amazing, any animals. So, although I wouldn't have a dog, whenever I see a dog or play with a dog, I'm having a great time, because dogs are great as well. The one thing that annoys me about dog owners and makes me feel physically sick is when people let their dogs lick their mouths. Oh my God, you absolute wrong-uns. I'm telling you right now, I would never let my cat anywhere near my mouth. And they are very clean animals, but no thank you. I was watching, what reminded me of this is I was watching the Osbournes. I know, blast from the past, because they're just starting to upload them all onto YouTube. I did buy the first season on DVD, but I don't have any more. I'll put the link to the description in that. Link to the description? I'll put a link in the description for that YouTube channel that's uploading all the Osbournes episodes, because they are great crack. And Ozzy is just letting the dogs lick his mouth, and now all these memories come flooding back to me when I see people do it. So I'm not banging on about it too much, because, you know, your animals are your animals. I can't deal with that. It makes me feel just the worst. Like, yeah, I love them, but I would not ever let a dog lick my mouth. Oh, there we go. So moving on to sort of nerd topics. So let's just talk for a second. You can tune out if you want. And actually, this applies to a lot more than these 2 sections of geek culture, shall we say. But modern Star Trek and modern Doctor Who. What an absolute shambles modern science fiction is. It's actually horrifying how toxic the relationship with the fans and just fandom in general in the science fiction sort of section have become. I mean, Star Wars is really bad. Don't get me wrong. Star Wars is bad. Star Wars has been bad for a long time now. Over 10 years, I would say. But there's still stuff that has some redeeming qualities, and I don't feel like the Star Wars fan base, right, which I am a part of, has been toxified quite as much as... Well, let's go levels, because Doctor Who is by far the worst, so we'll get there. But let's just talk about Star Trek for a second. All the new shows are trash. They're all for modern, Jesus Christ, can't even say it, Simon. You might as well be one of them. Modern audiences that cannot wait for things to pay off, It's just the writers. Maybe this is just the writers' perception of what a modern audience is. Because I think what they do is they now with old Star Trek, you would never talk down to someone. You'd explain something to them in the episode because if it was quite complex, and you would get it through, you know, a mild explanation or you know, just a dump of information or whatever. But they would always treat the people watching it with some sort of respect, no matter what level of sort of IQ they were at. Now they really talk down to you with the show. They over-explain everything. They have to put in, you know, there has to be an explosion every episode. There has to be someone shooting a phaser. I mean, it's the same with, you know, Star Wars. There has to be like epic lightsaber battles that will in all the films. They can't just talk about something, or, you know, someone pulls out a lightsaber and maybe doesn't use it or whatever. It's just really, I know that people's attention fans, I can't even talk. I know people's attention spans have dropped, okay? My attention span has dropped. I would admit it as well. For all of us, because of the way we live our lives these days. But that is still no way to talk down to an audience, especially an audience of Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans alike. I just don't like it. Obviously, there's a whole nother sector I won't get into too much, but of course the whole sort of social justice warrior section, you know, the woke, air quotes, culture, that for some reason has really embedded itself into science fiction, which is just still a bit of a strange one for me, because science fiction has always explored those realms, especially shows like Star Trek that have always been inclusive. They've been inclusive from the 1960s, and they're having to sort of shoehorn that stuff in. And I think with those sorts of shows, that stuff comes naturally. It's things you get out of the show, just watching the show, and the stories that are being told, they're the things that they're telling you through that. So I've never understood them shoehorning that into any science fiction, especially shows like Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars, because I feel like that's always been within them. Look, even if the cast was like all white actors, for instance, you have aliens, you'd have all sorts of, you know, and those stories would reflect the sort of racial stories and things that are happening in our world now. So they wouldn't represent anyone per se. You know, you might not have a character that represents black people, for instance, but there would be reflections, there would be mirrors back, there would be things that you take away and you think about in your real life situations. And that's what science fiction used to do. It used to explore those realms without shoving them in your face, you know, with being clever about them, with great storytelling. And unfortunately, that is not what's happened. So let's forget Star Trek and Star Wars for a second. Let's delve deep into the pit that is modern Doctor Who. I mean, I have been a Doctor Who fan for a very long time. I have loved the show. I have gone to Comic-Cons. I have met doctors. I have poured my heart and soul into being a Doctor Who fan. I can't think of a more toxic, disgusting, horrible fan base than the Doctor Who fan base right now. It is just the worst time to be a fan of Doctor Who. It is just awful. And I can't even stand to watch the show anymore because it disgusts me so much. Not just the show itself. You know, we've had miscasts, we've had misdirections, we've had air quotes woke culture being shoehorned in, we've had bad storytelling, bad showrunners, bad effects, bad camera work. It's all just piled on top of Doctor Who for years now, and it's beaten me down so much as a fan. I can't even bear to watch the show anymore because it only fills me with disgust, and that is just absolutely insane. If you had told me that like 15 years ago, I would have laughed in your face because of how good and how much of a great time we were having in Doctor Who. But it just shows you, man, life is up and down when you're doing things that, I mean, life is the same, 15 years, so much changes. But yeah, my God, what an absolute terrible show. We'll see what happens with Doctor Who anyway. If you're not so familiar, apparently Ncuti Gatwa, who currently plays the Doctor, I like him, he's a nice guy. Is he a good Doctor? Not at all. Is that him? Partially. Is that the writing? Definitely. I think with a better showrunner, maybe we could have had a good doctor on our hands, but who wants a doctor that cries every episode? That pretty much something else I was going to say, but I've forgotten now. Anyway, 2 at a time. It is kind of dyeing my fingers. Kind of like Cheetos. I've got Cheetos fingers. Right. Let's move on, shall we? After that rant. One thing that annoys me a lot, and it's been happening to me a lot. I've been doing a lot of motorway driving for work. Driving to Basingstoke, Reading, Exeter, Bristol. I've got to go to Peterborough on Monday. I've been driving everywhere for work at the moment. People who drive up your backside. I'm sure there are people watching this that drive up people's backside too close. Stop it. I literally cannot stand it. It is the worst, most dangerous thing you could possibly do, especially on the motorway. I do not understand people that will literally drive right behind someone on the motorway, especially when people mostly get up there if you're trying to overtake on the outside lane and you're overtaking a truck or a lorry or a slow car or whatever, you're driving past that car. So you can't overtake that car until you actually go past it. But the person behind you is driving literally up your backside expecting you to go faster. But you can't go any faster or move over until you've overtaken the truck on your left-hand side. So why are you driving up there? And it's always, sorry if you are these type of drivers. Let's start off, shall we? BMW drivers, Audi, Range Rover especially, and work vans as well. A lot of people that drive work vans can't actually drive probably very well. But, oh my God. The road rage that flows out of me, the hatred that flows out of me. It's just insane. Yeah, that is just really, really annoying. So, don't do it, please. Because it makes me really angry. And I'm sure it makes a lot of you angry. What else we got? I'm trying to think of one that I can bring up. So, I got 2 more points. How long have we been going for? Doesn't matter. Oh. 29 minutes! Oh my God. Okay. That's long. I've been talking longer than I thought. All right. So let's want to come on to adverts, but specifically adverts that are so vague about what they're selling that for the first 3/4 of the advert you don't actually know what it is. Adverts that never get to the point, or adverts that, you know, make big stories. You know, you see these car adverts and like you feel like you're watching a drama for like 2 minutes and then you're like, oh, they were trying to sell me a car. I don't understand how that is going to want to make me buy that car or remember that car. It will just annoy me into not buying that car. Is there a cat right there? There's a cat right there. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you know, you get out of a lot of the perfume ones and the aftershave ones, and the car ones are bad for it as well. There are some great adverts. There are some adverts that I actually enjoy. I can't think of any that come to mind right now, but you know what it's like watching YouTube. There's probably been about 10 adverts during this video that you've been watching. Have any of those caught you wild or made you go crazy? Probably. Right. And lastly, this is probably going to annoy a lot of people, and well, not a lot of people really, but I saw that Poppy, was it Poppy or was it the girl from Spirit Box? Weren't they the two that got confused? I'm not a fan of either. So it was either her, Poppy, or the girl that's in Spirit Box said that basically modern metal is way too overproduced, and just, you know, the studio quality is just getting better, but it's getting like too good, so where it's all sounding flat and bland, and we need to go back to a style that's, you know, got a little bit of that sort of DIY sound to it, you know, a little bit more like the original metal. Not necessarily like a garage band like punk, but, you know, maybe there is one guitar slide that's not perfectly in time. You know, maybe there is one cymbal that's not quite cut in enough, or, you know, I do produce my own music, so when it comes to studio quality and stuff, I understand it. But what my main thing was, most I'd say modern metalcore mostly, but I do really have to agree with her comments. A lot of it is overproduced. A lot of bands now just rely on down tuning rather than actually playing riffs. You know, sometimes it does sound really good, but if every band's doing it, then it just sounds mid as hell. And it's a problem I've got with a lot of modern metalcore bands, especially. You know, here's the screamy bit, here's the singing bit, here's the breakdown. Everything's in drop A or whatever. And yeah, I'm just not liking any of it. I'm really going off of it. Like, I don't want to say it's bad, but Sleep Token's new song is great. But I don't like all the vocal effects they've put on his voice. He has an incredible voice, man. You need some reverb, you need some compression, maybe a few little touches here and there to just expand the sound and make it. But these producers these days just throw a million effects on everything, especially vocals. I've just got one of those ears that can hear it, and it drives me wild. So yeah, that really annoys me. And I think we should take it back to a more stripped back sound and something a bit more raw sounding, you know. It's kind of lost its edge at the moment, I think. Metal production's really lost its edge. It's not grimy, it's not dirty, it's not filthy. It's just, it's all just standardly beefy. So anyway, but yeah. Right, I've talked for long enough. I'm going to sip of this quickly. Thank you very much again. 5k is something I don't think I would reach even by the end of the year. So to have it, you know, in March is absolutely crazy. I do appreciate it as well. You know, like I said, I get to meet all you guys, which is very lucky of me. I'm sure over festival season, I'll get to speak to you guys about loads of stuff. But yeah, you know, I don't know where the ceiling is now. I don't know. We'll see how many more we get, how many more people. But yeah, you know, if you're new here, just keep subscribe if you want to. All the rest of you, keep liking the videos. I do have to mention my patrons who have been just a massive support for me. Thank you so much to you guys, honestly. It's been immense. They obviously, if you want to go to my Patreon, you do get little treats. You get videos before they come out. You get other random videos as well. I'm working on like a little mini vlog at the moment. Excuse me, just to get out to the guys over on Patreon. So if you want to come support me over there, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, thank you very much. All positive vibes. I love you all. Hope you guys are okay and everything's going well. And you know, we're starting to have some really nice weather days, so we are slowly creeping our way towards the, you know, the best part of the year, and hopefully we actually get a summer this year, because 2024 was rubbish. But yes, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I shall see you dudes in the next video. You should go and subscribe to my channel, just because. Come on, subscribe.